Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to the BNS channel. My name is EdieAnne, and today I want to talk about Facebook. You know what's funny is I watched a video this morning from a superstar director in Australia with Scentsy, and she was speaking, and at first I was getting a little offended, but then I watched it some more and I realized what she was saying. But she was talking about Facebook and working your business on Facebook. And I thought, you know what, Edie, you need to do a video about that because people don't know and don't understand how involved you are in Facebook and outside of Facebook, right? And I think sometimes the perception that is given on social media is that that's where we are, that's where we stay, and that's all we do. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of work that has to be done if you're going to market on social media. Now, I know I've shared that before, but it's valid. You know, there's a lot of relationship building that has to happen when you're on social media. Now, there's going to be a lot of people out there that feel for them it can't work and will make blanket statements saying you can't run a business on social media. I beg to differ. And every time somebody says that, I get a bit defensive, and there's a little bit of a feeling inside of me that's like, that's not true. That's not true. However, doing marketing and doing your business on social media does take a lot more effort and a lot more work, which means that effort that you're putting into social media, if you have the means to be putting that into your local people, you're taking away opportunity that could be pretty awesome, right? So what I mean by that is if I'm spending an hour or 2 or 3 or 8 building relationships on social media, because sometimes that's how long it takes, if not longer, and I have the opportunity to be building relationships in town or at the store or in my city or in my town or at my schools or anything like that, then those opportunities, see what happens is when you meet somebody face to face, the instantness of a relationship is almost inevitable. And it happens almost every time. So when I meet somebody, that energy is going to be there. We're going to have some conversations, so that trust level gets starting to be built. But when you're on social media, that takes a lot longer, because if you send an email or a text, it could be days before that person responds, right? So the instantaneousness and the what we call turnover rate is a lot quicker in person than it is in social media. So if you have opportunity to talk to people and mingle with people and build relationships in your town, in your schools, in your congregations or organizations or work or churches or whatever, then don't not do that and replace it with social media, because you are doing your business a huge disservice by not allowing the quickness of the local to grow. Right? So what happens is I could be building one relationship in social media and build 10 relationships here at home, locally, right? So now, obviously the problem has always been for me that I have 192 people in my town. Well, yes, I can say that. But what am I doing right now? I'm traveling 30 miles to go grocery shopping, to deliver, actually I'm delivering my fundraiser, Scentsy fundraiser, in a town that has about 4,500 people, right? So would it behoove me to build some relationships in that town, even if it's not my town? Now, granted, I grew up in that town. So you see what I'm saying? If there's a town or if there's a location and you have the means to get there, then start building relationships there. Right? I will tell you that you can build a business on social media. Do I think that you can solely do it on social media? the majority of mine has been, I would say 90, maybe 85 to 90% of my business was built on social media. But there's still that 10 and 15% that was built somewhere else, locally, right? So, I mean, and here's a statistic that I find very odd. I find it very, I don't know if it's realistic or not. And I've shared it with others, and I've gotten feedback from others, and people who have built their businesses primarily on just local, not so much online. When they recruit people, those people tend to have loyalty and will stay longer with the business. Ironically, it's been the opposite for me. You know, I have a few local people that have stayed loyal and have stayed with us, but the majority have just gone away at some point. You know, so there's, everybody's business is going to be everybody's business. Everybody's business works differently. Everybody's business has the potential to be whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be primarily online, then you're going to do the work that's needed to make it work online. If you want it to be local, then you're going to do the work that's needed to make it work on locally. You know, that means doing home parties. That means doing basket parties. That means, you know, having sip and sniffs. And that means having fundraisers. And that means having all of the things that a local or a home-based business, a direct sales business, was based on in the first place, right? Social media didn't come till after. But I can tell you that whatever you put your mind to, it can work. I don't want you to feel, when you hear people say things like, you can't build a business on Facebook, you can't build a business on YouTube, you can't do this. Well, they couldn't, and it didn't work for them. But I am a huge advocate of whatever works for you is the right way. You know, so I guess for me, I personally take a bit of offense when people take, you know, get on their, oh, is that an eagle? That's a crane. Wow, that was weird. I wish you'd have seen that. And he pooped on the way over. Not in my car, but he did. I guess I take a little bit of offense when people say, you can't, and I guess that's my I'm thinking about what I'm about to say here. I think that's my own attitude and character. When people tell me I can't do something, I try even harder to be able to do it. But just because it didn't work for you doesn't mean it's not doable. And so when people come on video and start preaching about how their business is working and how they're doing it and how it's working for them and how it's the only way that it can work and how other ways can't work, that bothers me, because I really am an advocate for, if it works for you, then I will support you and I will challenge you to do even better at what you're choosing to do, as long as you allow yourself to try the thing that wasn't working, or that you don't enjoy as much, or that you feel is going to be a struggle, right? Give yourself that opportunity to at least try, and then decide if it's not going to work for you. But don't sit there and say, this isn't going to work. It didn't work for me, so it's not going to work for you. I'm not a believer in that. You can't be. You know, if you want to succeed in your own life and you want to succeed in your own business and your own family, then you are going to find the best version of you to do the things that are right for you. Does that make sense? I'm kind of on a soapbox right now, and that's not really where my intention of this video was supposed to go. But I wanted to make sure that you understood that if it's not working online for you, it's probably not your thing. If it is working online for you, then give it all you got. If it's not working at home or locally for you, then that might not be your thing. Try something different. If it is working for you at home, then by all means, give it everything you have. Right? Our world is evolving for a reason. And so if there are people that want to evolve with it, let them. You know, but if there are people that want to stay old school and stick with what they know and know that it works for them, then let them do that too. You know, I'm a firm believer, there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, you need to get on the social media bandwagon. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. You know, is it working for them the way that they're doing it now? If it's working for them, then let them keep doing what they're doing. I would challenge you to try a little bit of social media, even if your home parties are working. But if it's not comfortable to you and it doesn't feel right to you, then don't continue it. You know, and the other way around. Don't sit there and tell somebody that they have to do home parties when their online business is booming. You know, if they decided to evolve and bring in that social media-ness to their lives and it's working for them and they're really not doing home parties or really not doing basket parties, then let them be. I would also challenge that person to at least try some basket parties or at least try some home parties or at least try getting them. Because just imagine how much extra could come from that, right? Either way, trying social media or trying home parties and basket parties. So I guess that's my message today, is that I want to make sure that you understand that what works for you works for you. But be honest with yourself. If it's not working, try something else and listen to the suggestions of other people. You know, I also am a firm believer that I will learn and learn and learn and learn, and I'll pick out from what I learned what works for me and leave the rest to somebody else. Right? I hope that message was something that you can utilize in your own life and business, because I find that I am confronted with it often. You know, we think, wow, this is a home-based business, it's a home party business, I'm only really doing stuff online, should I really be trying? You know what? If what you're doing is working, then keep at it and become better at it. You know, my deal is I challenge myself all the time. You know, so I travel further and further to get home parties, basket parties, that sort of thing. The majority of my business is here in this town, which is 30 miles away, right? As far as my local business, which really isn't that local. So, all right. I get off my soapbox now. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you guys found that a little bit insightful. And if you have thoughts that you want to share, do that in the comments below. And you know what? I don't ask this often, so I'm going to ask you to give a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I put up new videos. And the thumbs up just lets me know that the content I'm providing you guys is something worth value to you. Okay? So let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe, comment below. All right? Have an amazing day. Make it an amazing day for somebody else. Bye.